Hi everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to Phil Does 3D. I'm a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream live on Twitch on Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 PM Pacific time in the United States. That's 10 AM if you're in Australia or 1 AM if you're in the UK. I hope you guys and girls are well. Hellforge coffee, yes, I've got my coffee ready, all ready to go and I'll have some right now. Don't have to suggest that twice to me. Selfless One, hey, it's good to see a Selfless One. And Smurfberry, hey Smurf, I hope you guys are well. Remember guys, if you do miss the live streams, you can catch up at any time by clicking the videos tab on my Twitch channel, or you can go to my YouTube channel /PhilDoes3D. I upload all of my previous streams to Twitch. What else is part of my spiel? Remember too, if you do want to join the Phil Does 3D Discord server, thank you Hellforge, you can click that link Hellforge just popped into Twitch chat. If you want to know more about me and what I do, you can go to my website, phildoes3d.com, so my Twitch username with a .com on the end. And that's right, we're going to be working on the House on the Hollow game today, so we're working on the landscape for the game at the moment, as we've moved outside of the building and out to the landscape. So we'll continue doing that today. Yeah, I might switch things around a little bit. We'll do some landscape stuff. We'll jump into Max. We might jump into Photoshop. We'll see how we go. It's good to see you, Hellforge. And Selfless One as well. And again, I hope you guys are doing well. Okay, so yes, we'll jump straight into Unreal. We'll look at what we did yesterday and then we'll go from there. So, and my Twitch chat client, you know how you guys, I was telling you guys yesterday, yesterday was not a good day. It didn't start out well because I overslept, and I overslept this morning as well. This is what happens when you go on holiday. It takes a long time to get back into the swing of things. My chat client is still not working correctly, my Steamlabs chat client. So I've switched back to using Chatty for the time being until I can work out what's going on. I did update my NVIDIA driver. I installed a new studio driver from NVIDIA that they released yesterday. So I think it's 471.41 or 474, I can't remember. Anyway, the latest one that was released yesterday, but that didn't fix the problem. So it's obviously either a problem with Streamlabs chatbot or with the latest Windows update. Well, I'm sure the latest Windows update caused the problem to begin with, but I either need Microsoft to fix that or I need Streamlabs to fix it. Don't know who's to blame. Anyway, Chatty's working well, so we'll stick to Chatty. Tried and true. So yeah, yesterday we were working on this front section. We will probably continue doing that today, I guess, because why not? I might just pull this tree down a little bit. Okay. So what are we going to do? I do want to do those Easter eggs you guys were talking about. So I think I haven't actually modeled them up yet, but we'll look at putting maybe one of the Easter eggs somewhere around here, probably. Yeah, I don't really want the plate to have to go into that corner. So we'll probably look at putting it maybe in here somewhere. So we need to think about how we're going to hide the front of it here. But before we do that, I think I'm just trying to decide how I want to design this bit up. Again, we're going to have steps down here. So if anyone, if you're thinking what's going on here, there'll be steps that will lead down. So the player will sort of enter this area of the game via some steps that'll come up here and they'll enter through here before they get to the main grounds of the estate. Smurf says, oh no, change is bad. Yeah, I know it. Change isn't bad. I do tend to get stuck in my way, so I have to admit. And I do like Streamlabs chatbot. It's a good chatbot, but I can't use it. I can't read my chat. My chat's all blown up. Half of it's sort of like cut off, and there's something really weird going on with the display. And that's why I thought it was the graphics card driver, because I hadn't updated my studio driver since last year, the end of last year. So I was running on quite an older version of it. I thought, well, it must be the driver. It wasn't the driver. They updated the driver and it was still problematic, so that's okay. Chatty works well. The only thing, Streamlabs chatbot, I use that to set up my on-screen pop-ups, you know, the fill slap and all that sort of stuff. So it has a lot of functionality that is really useful for me as a streamer. So what I'm doing is I'm running Streamlabs chatbot and Chatty at the same time. I've got Streamlabs chatbot minimized and I use Chatty now as my main chat client. But having it running means that you guys that are subs and mods can still set off the pop-ups, and I can still set them off if I open up the chat client. So we're running 2 chat clients at the moment. And I'll just hope that Streamlabs or Microsoft fix the problem. What is it with this stuff? There have been so many problems recently with updates from different companies. They're just not testing anything anymore. Selfless One says, sub's not working at the moment. Oh, it is now? Did you sub? Let me check this. Don't know. It hasn't popped up on my notifications. If you subbed, Selfless One, thank you very much. You are awesome. But if you are a sub, you can set off those, if that's what you mean, you can set off those things like the fill slap yourself. Okay, so yeah, what am I doing here? We could even have an Easter egg up here in this corner maybe. I've got to decide. Now, you might be wondering why these rocks here around the outside edge, they are so once the player enters the gates. Oh, no, this is why I didn't want to update my video card drivers. Do you see what's happened here? Thank you very much, NVIDIA. Wow. Just as well I use a separate machine to... I can't even see my mouse cursor. A separate machine to stream on, because it doesn't take my entire stream down. What was I just saying about companies and releasing stuff that is not properly tested? Come on. What the? Wow. You know, I'm tempted to roll back my driver. We'll push through. We'll reopen up Unreal and we'll see if it happens again. If it happens again, I will reinstall my driver. It's okay, I won't go off stream because, like I said, I use a separate machine to stream, so you can sit here and we can talk while I do that. But let's try that again. Oh, wow. And this is why I don't update drivers all the time, because you just never know. NVIDIA generally have been pretty good. Recently, though, with some of their driver releases, it's been a bit hit and miss. Selfless One says, I feel you, studio drivers versus game ready. Sniper Girl, hey Sniper Girl, it's good to see you. Yeah, I'm using the studio drivers, which generally are supposed to be more stable. I hate to think what the game ready drivers are like. So if we crash out again, then we will roll back the driver. I've noticed something. It's something weird with the newer drivers. It's something to do with the shader cache, I think. I had a guess. Sniper Girl says, "Wow, I did." No, I did a slap to check that my slap was working. I didn't slap anyone. I'm doing really good, Sniper Girl. I hope you are too. And I was telling the guys that we've switched to using Chatty at the moment because of that problem we were having yesterday with the chatbot, with Streamlabs chatbot. Yeah, so those driver crashes, like you just saw, I've noticed. I have a feeling it has something to do with the shader cache. And it seems once it caches the shaders, it's fine. Either that, or maybe I need to update the. There is a new BIOS update for my video card. Maybe I should do that. Anyway, if it happens again, we're going to roll back to the previous driver. Sniper Girl says, I'm good, did 10 hours again, 3 more days to go. Oh man, 10 hours on your feet is horrible. So we just got to remember to save regularly because we never know when that graphics card driver could crash out again. So what are we doing? That's right. I'm trying to work out how I want to design this up. Let's see. I think what I might do, the Sniper Girl says, will be worth it in the end. Have 500 saved currently for the drone. Most of the money next week's check will be going towards it. Cool. That was the Maverick, DJ Maverick 2, was it? DJI, I should say. Why do I call it DJ? Mavic 2, I think. Was that the drone you were looking at on Amazon? That one that I looked at, you showed just before I went on break? We have got a couple of drones at the Archviz studio, and one of them is the DJI Mavic 2. Oh no, not the Mavic 2. That's only 4K? Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't remember the other. We've got like 2 or 3 at the studio, at the Archviz studio. One of them is the DJI Mavic 2. The other 2, I'm not sure what they are. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to probably, yeah, I think I'll do that. We might we might work on the path first, and that'll help me design the rest of the landscape up. So we have our path that leads from the gate, and I don't want the path to go like straight to here because that's pretty boring. I want to give it a bit of a windy path to make it a little bit more interesting for the player. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in. It's been a while since I've done this, so bear with me. How do I do this again? I've forgotten already. Wow. Where is it? Where have they moved it to? Where have they moved it to? I know. Let's start by selecting the actual landscape, I think. Selected that, that's good. Bear with me. I'll get there in the end. Hang on. Come on. Okay. Just give me a minute here to work myself out. Okay. All right. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go back into our foliage tool and Android Lust. Hey Android Lust, sorry it's taken me a little bit to notice you there. I've been concentrating. Good morning to you as well, Android Lust. Sniper Girl looks like she's posted the link to what she's wanting to get, the drone she wants to get. Camera is 6K with a 1-inch light sensor, 22 megapixel, and they have a camera you can buy for it that has 8K with only a 1/2 inch light sensor, 33 megapixel. That's pretty good. I see when you were talking about it on the Discord server, you said that it has 8K burst mode for video, which you said wasn't good if you actually wanted to take video footage, but is perfect for photogrammetry because it takes a shot like every so many seconds or whatever. Selfless One says to Sniper Girl, are you doing any flight training? Andrew Dust says no DJI drone. Sniper Girl says I do have to contact the manufacturer before actually buying. As of January, the FAA wants to be able to track all drones and also where the user is standing while operating the drone. Sniper Girl says that was a DJI drone. Oh, decided on a different one. Okay, I thought it was DJI that you showed me. Let me have a look at the one that you're deciding on. I'm just curious because we all love drones. So let's have a look. Oh, this one, Hotel Robotics. I'm not familiar with it. 6K camera drone with free shoulder bag. What are the specs on it? Okay. Remember, if you're doing photogrammetry, don't use any of the zoom stuff. Still image. Okay. Good, it takes raw, which is good. Wow, I hate these white screens. They blind me. White backgrounds. This is why I love working in dark mode all the time, any program that has dark mode. Okay, so video up to 6K. Then MOV and MP4, good. Good. 120 megabits a second, good. Nice and light, good. 3 axes, it's pretty standard. Flight time of 40 minutes, that's pretty good. It's very good actually. Again, if you want to do photogrammetry, we use the Archviz studio I work for, we use drones in photogrammetry, but that's because we do a lot of work for mining companies, so we need shots that are really high up and over a large area. Having said that though, drones are fine for anything smaller as well, but they're particularly useful if you need to cover a large area. Internal storage 8 gigabytes. Oh good, I was going to say that's not very much, but you can do an SD storage, so that's good. Up to 256 gig, which I would recommend as well, Sniper Girl, if you do want to get it, make sure you put in a memory card, because 8 gigabytes is not going to be enough, really. It's all looking pretty good. All the specs look pretty decent. Is that American dollars? I'm assuming it is. Andrew Lust says, I wonder if there was any drone incidents that made the FAA change, this FAA change, I'm assuming. Sniper Girl says, to Selfless One, I will be. I do have a recreational certificate from the FAA, so I'll be legally able to operate it while learning. Sniper Girl said, yeah, I thought that's what you meant, Andrew Lust. Honestly not sure, have the drone community panicked a bit from what I've been reading. People don't know if they'll need to buy something for the tracking to work, or if it's something that will be software update wise. She says I could easily see them doing some sort of firmware update. Yeah, that's probably what they'll do. Software update to accomplish it. We'll have to check to find out. Yeah, they'll probably do it through a firmware update. Android Lust said, I would understand. I'm also assuming some of the drone pilots don't know of the change. So yep, that's $15.99 American, which would put it over $2,000 Australian. She says, would assume so. The law itself was passed in January. Manufacturers will have 9 months to comply and users have 1 year to comply to the new law. That's interesting. They don't track them in Australia here, but you do have to, and it's orange. I like orange too. You do have to, you're not allowed to actually use them around a population. So like where I live here in the inner city, I couldn't fly my drone. I'd have to, well I could, but I'd have to go out to like an open space, like a park. But they don't actually track the drones. That's something new. I'm pretty sure if you guys are going to start doing it over in the US, the government here will probably start doing it as well, more than likely. Sniper Girl says, would assume so. Sorry, I've read that. So yeah, I think what we're going to do here is we're going to, let me think what I'm going to do here. I'm going to choose the grass. So where is the grass? Marigolds. Backyard grass cluster. Cattails. Rough grass, snakeweed. Backyard grass cluster foliage type. Let me just get down here so I can see what we've been using. So I'm just going to do a test here to see which ones are which. We'll start with this one. Let me see. In fact, I'm just going to move over here so I can... Yep, that's the right one. Okay, so let's get a good overview of the pathway. Sniper Girl says, reason for going with that drone is it has 12 sensors all around and it has an adjustable aperture instead of the one that is fixed. I figured with 12 sensors it will be hard to run into something while learning. Well, that's true. The DJI one I was looking at didn't have any side sensors. Could see that to be a problem if, say, I'm scanning a statue. Wouldn't know if it's about to hit something while circling the object. I've used the DJI drone and I haven't had an issue. It does a pretty good job of avoiding any obstacles that are in its way. But more sensors is always good. More is better always. Okay, so this path, how do I want this to run? I think I'm going to run it like that, and then maybe around like that. So that means I need to add grass through here. Actually, that doesn't look quite right. No, that is right. That is the same grass. Again, it's been a while since I did any work on the landscape, so I just got to make sure here. So we'll run some through there. And we might... So let's run grass through here. And so we want the path to go from here to here. And then we want grass through here. Now, it's adding grass on my rocks and I've got to decide if I want that or not. I don't really think I do, so I'm just going to undo these and undo that one as well. Like, I don't mind some grass up here on some parts of the rocks, but I don't want it everywhere. Android Lost says, I bet there has been a few incidents of people flying into no-fly zones. Yeah, I'm not sure about this country, but you can get in serious trouble if you fly your drone in an area you shouldn't be. And in fact, I think that there's new firmware now in the drones where, like airports and things like that, if the location data sees that you're anywhere near an airport, it won't let you fly the drone, because you can't fly drones near airport for good reason. Sniper Girl says, and in Australia you can't fly in residential places at all? No. In the US, if you have a class 107 license, you can. Also allowed to fly over people, which I find weird. Yeah, no, you can't fly anywhere near people in Australia. You can get an exemption for that if you're like real estate companies, for example. They use drones quite a lot to get shots of the buildings that they're going to try and sell. Those people, if they can get an exemption to fly in a residential area as well, but you need a good reason for doing it. Otherwise, it's against the law. Can't be around people. Can't fly the drone anywhere near people. Android Lost. Sorry, Sniper Girl says, can imagine, would depend on the drone, to be honest. DJI drones are all geo-fenced in to prevent you from accidentally flying into no-fly zones. Yep. Android Lost says, do you know if that applies to all drones or certain sizes? Yeah, it's only over a certain size in Australia. So long as the drone you buy is that that's a good question. I think it's all drones. And I think it's over a certain size in Australia that law applies to. So the really tiny drones, the ones you can buy are about that big, the toy drones, they don't require any restriction. They have no restrictions, but I mean, you can't fly them very far anyway. Andrew Loss says, didn't know they did that. It's pretty nice. Sniper Girl says, less than 55 pounds. Yeah, I think it's the same here. It's a weight sort of thing. So long as it's under a certain weight, you're okay. Okay, so there. Well, that's what I was looking for. I was looking for an exclusion. been so long I can't quite remember where they put it. Where would they put it? No, I'm pretty sure it should be over here. Andrew Lost says those little toy drones really shouldn't be flown high. No, anyway, a gust of wind and the thing will go flying if you're trying to fly those little drones outside. It'll be the last time you see it. No, that's right. Yeah, those toy drones, they're really meant to be flown like in your backyard on a not very windy day. I can't see this setting unless I'm going blind, which I probably am, or Grandpa Phil. Anyway, we'll push through, and if worst comes to worst, I'll just have to go through and do some erasing. So we want grass through here. No, that's unacceptable. It's putting grass on my trees. I'm looking for the, I want to restrict it to only to the landscape. Let's put that back in. And I can't seem to find the setting for it. You see what it's doing here? It's trying to actually put the grass up on the tree. And I could go through and erase it again, but that's a pain. And I'm pretty sure that there is a setting here that restricts it to just the landscape. Android Lost says, if you hide the assets, will it stick to the tree? Unfortunately, I can't hide them because the tree is part of the foliage tool. And I'm sure that there is a setting that where you can like restrict it to just the landscape and not to objects. But because it's been a while since I've done any landscape stuff in the program, because I've been spending so much time doing the building, interior of the building, I can't remember where they put the setting. No, it's not virtual texturing. So there is a setting somewhere. Yeah. So I can't hide the trees because they're part of the foliage tool. They're all part of the one landscape. So where is this setting? I know it's here somewhere. Density, radius, single instance material override radius. No, scaling. Vertex coloring, no. Placement, the offset, align to normal, align max angle, random yaw. Exclusion landscape layers. No. Collision with world. An overlap test with existing geometry is performed. I wonder if that's it. If any of you guys know, jump into the chat and tell me. Because again, I can't remember where the setting was. Well, I guess we could try this. No, I don't think it is that actually. wish you knew I was showing you to Android last time. Where have they put it? Epic have moved things around a little bit, I think, between the different versions of the program. I know there's a setting here. I've used it before. I just can't quite remember where it is. You'd think it would be in placement. That would be the logical place for them to put it. Worst comes to worst, we can just go through and erase the ones that pop up on a tree anyway. But there is a setting, because I've used it before, where you can enable or disable it. Well, I can't see it there. Which is really annoying. Single instance mode override radius. No, that's not what we want. No. Alright, we'll push on. It'll be quicker for me just to erase it than to spend a half an hour in the program trying to work out where it should be and where it shouldn't be. I want to erase part of the path here as well, so... Is there a section I'm missing here? There might be, you know. Placing current level. Density. Just going to remove those for the moment and see if the setting I want is up here somewhere. Doesn't look like it. Alright, we'll just carry on. So we're going to add grass through here. You normally wouldn't get grass growing underneath of a tree. Not a bushy tree, because generally not enough light, so you normally wouldn't. So we won't push the grass too far in under the tree. So we've got our path that goes from there to there to there. And we're going to have some grass through here. And some grass maybe through here. Okay, and I might just erase a little bit through here. Let's just do a quick save because I don't trust the graphics card driver not to crash. And again, I was testing out the game last night, and on the first run of the game, again, which makes me think that the graphics card, that pop-up warning problem is something to do with the shaders, because on first run of the game crashed out. On subsequent runs of the game was fine. And I have noticed a couple of people online on NVIDIA's forums saying that they've had that problem with their older with previous drivers as well, right up until this latest driver. So yeah, I don't know really what's going on there. Let's just get rid of that through there. I don't mind some grass going up there like that. We'll get rid of that one there. Sniper Girl says, yeah, not sure. Andrew Loss says, pardon me, there is a setting, because I have used it before, I just don't know where Epic have moved it to. Either that or my mind is old and forgetful now and I can't remember where it was. But there is a setting to actually stop it from actually populating on other objects. You can sort of restrict it to an object, like I'd restrict it to the landscape itself. It's like a tick box or a checkbox somewhere, but I can't find it. So, but it is there somewhere. I'll have to look it up after the stream. Andrew Luss says, I haven't updated my driver in months. No, I hadn't updated my driver since October of last year. I was using a studio driver 45671, which has been rock stable. I've never had a problem with it. The only reason I updated my driver today was because of that problem I was having with my chat client, because I really thought it was because I was using such an old driver. But that didn't fix it. If I have too much grief today, if it crashes one more time while I'm trying to work, I will roll back to the driver I was using from October, the studio driver from October, because there's no problems with that driver. It's just, it seems everything, well, from what I've read online, like I was using the I think it was 456.71, that was good. I think once NVIDIA started in the 460 dot whatever series of drivers, and after that, because they're up to 471 or 474 now, after the 460 series of drivers, something changed and people started having a lot of problems. So yeah, I don't know. Worst comes to worst, I can reinstall the old driver. It's not a big deal. But I wish NVIDIA would fix that problem. And again, it's a weird problem because it doesn't always happen. And it seems to only happen maybe once the first time you try and run something. Like, again, you saw it happen with the editor here. And it happened when I tried to go in through the gate here because it's loading up new shaders. So it's something to do with loading shaders or caching shaders, or something to do with shaders anyway. Okay, so we have our path that sort of meanders around a little bit. And again, let's do a quick save. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch to one of the other grass types. So, where are my other grasses? Rough grass. Again, I just want to see what this one looks like. So I'm going to select that one, deselect that one, and just pop it down here so I can see it. Hang on. It does not seem to be showing up. Why is that? Oh, because I'm in a race mode. Duh. Oh, Phil. Okay, yeah, this is a good one as well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to mix these two grasses together now. So I'm going to put some of that there and some of that there. And we're going to put some of that there and some of it in here. So yeah, to make it look more, it's been a while since we've done some landscape work, so I'll explain as I go. to make it look more interesting, if you're doing a grass, like unless it's a backyard, you don't want all even grass like this. It's going to have sections that are like overgrown and, you know, out of control. So we're going to mix through some higher and lower grass together. That's what I'm trying to say, higher and lower. To make it look more interesting. And we might even bring some through here. And bring some out through here. And maybe just a little bit there. Because why not? And maybe a little bit through here as well. And maybe a little bit through there. Okay. Let's do a quick save again. I'm just being super careful. So yeah, I was the same Android Dust. I hadn't updated my driver for a long time as well. Well, I didn't need to. I mean, the old driver was working fine. I didn't have a problem with it. All my software was cool. So yeah, the only reason I updated was because of the chat client. And it looks like it might have been a mistake. But we'll keep going, like I said, and if we have any more problems, then I'll roll back the driver. Sniper Girl says, my video card is so ancient it doesn't make sense to update it. Well, that's interesting. I don't know why I have two versions of the same thing here, but anyway. Thick grass cloth. So let's see what this one is. I'm not sure what this one is. Oh, okay. It's grass again at the same height as the green, but just a little bit lower, like a different color, I mean. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm also going to mix that in. So I'm just going to add some of this other color. To get a bit more variation going on. And what else have we got? It looks to me, and I'm not sure why, maybe it's big once, because again I haven't used the foliage tool for a while. And what it looks like Unreal has done here is it's taken the original and it's also created one called foliage type. I'm not sure why that is and what the difference between those two is. That's really strange. Why it's actually made a duplicate and it's calling one a foliage type. Because they both, looking at the settings here, they both look pretty much identical. I don't really see anything that's changed between them, so I'm not sure why it's done that. Anyway. Okay, value bush, cattail. Knapweed, marigold, rough grass. I think what I might do is I might move to the knapweed. Let's move back here so I can sort of see what I'm doing. In fact, I may even go into unlit mode. It just makes it easier for everyone to see what's going on without all that lighting and fogging and all that sort of stuff getting in the way. And again, I'm in paint mode, but I have the wrong thing selected. We want that one. We don't want that one. I'm moving the taller stuff toward the back. So we start tall at the back and then we go down like that. It's sort of same sort of thing when you plant out a garden. You put the taller plants toward the back and then the middle height plants and then the low plants, and it creates a more interesting looking sort of silhouette. And that's basically what I'm going to be doing here now. I'm going to start placing the taller grass through the back here. We won't go too overboard though with this taller stuff. And might put some up here and back in here. I might just erase some from here. So how are you guys finding video cards if you guys that have been trying to buy them? Because it's gotten better in Australia now. You can start to buy them again. They're not completely out of stock. And the prices are coming down as well, which is good because they were way overpriced. I know a couple of you guys and girls have been wanting to buy video cards for a while and yet no one's been able to because they've been in such short supply and all the cryptocurrency mining and stuff. Sniper Girl says, no, not. I'm going to get the drone first, but then hopefully video cards will be at MSRP. Yep, that sounds like a good plan, Sniper Girl. Because the cryptocurrency stuff is on the wane again, mining, which means the graphics cards are coming down in price, coming back to normal value. Do be aware that it's not going to affect you as anyone as a gamer, but be aware that the new NVIDIA cards are LHR cards, so low hash rate. I think it stands for, I could be wrong. But basically they're nerfing Ethereum mining, which it doesn't affect gaming at all. And they're going to be the only type of cards you can buy pretty much going forward. The new crypto crippled video cards from NVIDIA. Crypto crippled. Android Lost says even some CPUs aren't at MSRP. No, again, the CPUs as well, they went up in price too. I think it was just a bad time. You know, we had the human malware, we had the cryptocurrency boom, and then we had releases of new graphics cards, and we also had releases of new consoles. We had releases of new CPUs. So all of these things sort of happened at the same time, and there's only so many chip factories in the world that can make the stuff at any given time. I think that was another big problem as well. It was just everything happened at once. Pushed the prices of CPUs up, pushed the prices of GPUs up. No one could buy them, so they went up even higher. Everyone wanted them because they were working from home. I mean, yeah, it was just... Things are starting to get back to normal slowly. So... The longer you wait, the cheaper it'll be, more than likely. Unless we have some other disaster that we don't know about yet that's going to happen. Sniper Girl says, not surprised. I'd noticed the CPU cost went up. The one I got right after I bought it. Oh, Android Lust says it's just plain out of stock. Yep. Now again, I just want to... Well, I think the first thing I'm going to do again is I'm just going to do a quick save. Better to be safe than sorry. Don't jinx us, Android Lust says. Again, I'm looking for this setting because I know there is a setting where you can restrict it to only paint on the object, which is a landscape, and not the rest of it. But I know there's a setting. I just can't find it. I don't know whether Epic have moved it or whether my brain is just addled now and I can't remember where it was. But there is a setting. I'll have to look it up. Okay, so what else have we got here? What else? What else? What else? We don't want any azalea bushes. We could put some ferns in. We have this wheatgrass cluster as well. I don't think I probably want to put the wheatgrass in. Maybe some more of these. What do they call that again? Where is it? I think they're no, not cattails. The marigolds. I think it's snakeweed. Yeah, it's snakeweed. So maybe some snakeweed, which is a yellow flower. Oh man, undo that. Let's select it, deselect it. Helpwood says save and copy. Yeah, I just saved. Let me just throw a couple of these in and then we'll copy up again. Because you can never have too much copy. The yellow flower just helps to add a little bit of interest throughout the grass. So that not everything is just green. Green, green and more green. We might throw some up here. We might even bring a few in here. And maybe some through here. There we go. So we want it to look overgrown. Like let me do a save here just to be sure. Because basically no one's been to the house for a long time. Like a long time. So we want the entry here to be overgrown. So the player, when they discover the gate, it looks like, oh, no one's been here for a while. And copy. I forgot the copy. How could I forget the copy? Andrew Last says, I really wanted to buy the Ryzen 9 5950X a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't want to pay too much over the MSRP. I was almost desperate enough to bid on eBay for one. Don't do that. Don't buy anything on eBay, guys. eBay is terrible. PayPal, terrible. I'm not saying you don't use PayPal. You don't have to use PayPal if you buy on eBay, but I'm just saying that they're both not good companies to begin with. I mean, I have a PayPal account, so I can't talk, but I don't buy on eBay. Anything ever. Not anymore anyway. But we won't get into that. Yeah, everything, the price gouging, the 5950 is still, I think, more expensive than the MSRP in this country as well. It's same with Intel. Like when Intel released the 11th generation CPUs, they put the price of them up as well compared to the 10th gen. Like I bought, when I built my machine, you know, it's the i9 what is it? i9 10900. Oh yeah, it's the i9 10 series. I got that because it was on for a good price. They actually reduced the price on it because it was just before Intel released the 11th series. And they always tend to discount the current series just before they release the new one to try and get rid of stock. So I got it for a really good price, and I'm really happy with it. It's a really snappy machine. But yeah, when Intel released the 11th series, they put the price up from what the standard price used to be, and then there was scalping on top of that. So, you know, it's just insane. But yeah, no, the Ryzen 9 5950X is a nice CPU. A lot of the AMD CPUs are nice, actually. If you love them cores, and we all love them cores. Thank you, Hellforge. There is a Discord link. If you want to join the Phildoes 3D Discord and become a Phildo, you can click that link that Hellforge has popped into Twitch chat. There's a gallery section there where you can show up your work, because I love looking at the stuff you guys make. I'm on Twitch to actually see what you guys make and pop it in the gallery. I love looking at it. And to encourage you guys to do 3D. That's the whole reason I stream on Twitch. And thank you as well. If you want to wishlist the game you see me working on here, it's called The House in the Hollow. It's available to wishlist now on the Steam store page. So click that link, Hellforge popped into Twitch chat. Or at any time, if you're watching back this video, maybe on YouTube, you can actually, I think you'll probably find that there'll be a link under the video with a link to the Steam store page. You can click that. Or at any time, you can always go to my Twitch channel and go to the About Me section. And in my panels, you'll find a link to wishlist the game on the Steam store page, as well as a link to join the Discord server if I'm not streaming live. So did Android Dust gave you some help with Maya, which is good. Good on you, Android Dust. They're talking about Maya here in the user interface. Android Dust says it's the same reason ZBrush's user interface hasn't changed, but you'll get your ZBrush. Don't you talk to me about ZBrush, man. That interface is so bad. Program is great, but the interface is so bad. I mean, yeah, I love the sculpting in ZBrush, but man, I hate that interface. Android Love says, I think the Threadripper I was looking at was overpriced too, way more than the 5950X. Oh, yeah, everything went up. Everything and anything. Power supplies, web cameras, everything just went up. Yeah, so because of the human malware. I don't know if it was because they couldn't get as much supply, which is probably part of it as well. Like, they couldn't make as many because of the malware, and they couldn't ship it around the world as easily because of the malware. So that pushed the price of everything up. I mean, at one stage, power supplies were like double what they used to be. Web cameras were like double what they used to be. It was just insane. It was insane. Things are slowly getting back to normal, which is good. Android Love says, I should have just bought one when Smurf and Sniper Girl bought one. Sniper Girl says, yep, become a Phildo, and aka one of Phil's dildos. You're never going to let me forget it. I accidentally one day called you all dildos when I meant to say Phildos. Android Lust says, Neil to Hellforge, nearly all of Maya's tools on the top toolbar are in the Shift plus right mouse button menu. You can also add tools you want and scripts to that folder. Not the Shift right mouse button. Not the Shift right mouse button menu. Man. Hellforge says, I'll take some time to figure out, but it's not so bad that it's impossible. All of this software, once you learn where everything is, in the 3D particularly, they all work the same way. It just takes time to get used to the program, really. That's the hardest part of doing anything, really, just learning the interface, really, of software. Android Love says, I figured because of shipping of non-essential goods was halted for a bit, the prices went up. Yeah, I think it's a combination of all those things. I saved it, didn't I? Let's save it again just to be sure. So I can have more copy. I did save it. Sniper Girl says, it's your fault. One, called us dildos in the first place, which sounds like cock dildo. And two, said, all my dildos are here. Yes, look, I know. The reason that I say dildo, now you might be thinking, why is he calling us dildos? That's the name that Twitch assigned to my channel because, you know, Phil does 3D and they take like the first 6 letters, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the first 6 letters of your Twitch username. They abbreviate that down. So because Phil does 3D, Twitch called me Phildo. So that's like with my emotes and all that stuff. Yeah. So it was Twitch that gave you guys that name, not me. Sniper Girl says still Phildo equals Phil Dildo. Mr. Squarepeg, hello Mr. Squarepeg, it's good to see you. I hope you're well. It's good to see you. I've been on break for a little while, as you probably know. So I hope you've been well. You're doing good. Good to hear. We're working on the landscape for the game at the moment. We're back outside the building. We're not doing any interior work for a little while. We're going to have to move back into the interior eventually because we've got to do the basement. But for the moment, we're working on the outside landscape. Android Lust says, I started 3D with Lightwave. Don't laugh. Lightwave is a good program. Later on decided to learn Maya or Max because of industry standards. I went with Maya because of a dumb reason I don't remember. I don't regret it though. Yeah, look, the industry standard 3D programs are Maya, Max, and Cinema 4D. Cinema 4D is used a lot as well. Not as much as Maya or Max, but still in a good number of studios. They're the 3 industry standard 3D programs. So they're always good to learn because yeah, chances are pretty good that if you go into work for a studio, they're going to be using either Maya, Max, or Cinema 4D. But I've used Lightwave in the past, and it was a good program. I used to use Cinema 4D too, and that's a good program. I use Max because, like I said to you guys yesterday, when I was doing my university degree, that's what they taught us. They taught us Max. So I've always used Max. Now, having said that, I love Max because I love the interface. It's nice, clean, simple, elegant, like it. But that was the reason that I chose Max, was because, well, basically the university chose for me when I started learning. But I used to use Cinema 4D as well, because there was a studio I worked for years ago that used Cinema 4D, so I learnt it then. But generally, I'm a Max guy now. I've told you guys, Max is my baby. I love 3D Studio Max. Please never kill at Autodesk. I just never know with these companies anymore what they're going to do with software. I doubt they're going to kill Max. Max is huge in the ArchViz industry. Every ArchViz studio pretty much uses Max. Sniper Girl says, I'm giving Phil a hard time, like always. Yes, you are, but that's okay. I still love you. Android Lust says, hi to Mr. Squarepeg. Sniper Girl says, I started with a super early version of Blender. It was like version 1. Whatever, back when I was a teenager. I used Maya now because I like it and it's what I was taught on. Mr. Squarepeg, oh good. This actually, Chatty shows me when you guys want me to, when you redeem your points. Streamlabs chatbot doesn't, but Chatty does, so that's good. I like that. So Mr. Squarepeg wants me to sit up straight. I'll do that. There we go. Andrew Lust says, well, I did try Blender before I had a real interest in 3D, but that try was less than 10 minutes. Yeah, Maya's really good if you're into doing a lot of animation work as well. Like the animation tools in Maya are very good. Very, very good. Okay, Okay, now I'm sort of looking at this from where the player will enter the level to try and help me gauge if I want, what else I want to add where. So, and again, what we're going for to make an interesting looking landscape, again, you want these variations in height, and you sort of want to block sections as well, because it makes it more interesting visually for the player as they move. If it's not all flat grass, at the same height, and if they can't quite see where they're going to be going. So what we want to do here now is, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start placing stuff by hand. I'm not going to use the foliage tool now. We're going to go back to doing the actors by hand. How do I get out of the foliage tool? There we go. So yeah, now we're going to go back to doing stuff by hand. Mr. Square Peg, so what are we working on? Again, I'm working on the landscape for the House on the Hollow game, Mr. Square Peg. I don't know what the other guys are working on. I think Sniper Girl's working on her post-apocalyptic garage scene. Android Loss says, I think I chose Maya because of the renderer. It had shipped with it at the time. I don't think anyone uses Mental Ray anymore. No, even Max, 3D Studio Max, it's not in that anymore either. There's nothing wrong with Mental Ray. I mean, again, I think Mental Ray is an NVIDIA rendering engine from memory. Again, I could be wrong. Don't shoot the messenger. Yeah, but I believe it's NVIDIA. And you can still download it and install it for Maya and Max, I believe, or from NVIDIA's website directly. It's free. But it's not included with the software anymore. Andrew Loss says, yeah, it's NVIDIA. Yep, I thought it was. So yeah, you can still install it from NVIDIA's website for free. You can download and install it that way. Okay, let me see here. What do I want? What do I want? I think what I want is, I'm going to pull back. I think I'm going to bring in a couple of these Douglas fir trees. So again, let me make sure I've done a save. Yep. Let's bring this one in. And let's put that over here. And again, I may have to just rearrange these when I actually do completely finish putting the steps and stuff in here, but for the moment it should be alright. So we'll put one there. We'll duplicate it and we'll move one in here. And again, what I'm going for here is I'm trying to block the direct view of the player of that gate, because we want the player to sort of discover it as they walk along the path. I'm getting a bit of a visual problem happening here. Again, I can't tell whether this is the NVIDIA driver or if it's just because we need to do a rebuild on the level, because the engine tends to glitch out a little bit if you've done a lot of work and haven't rebuilt the lighting for a while. At least I hope that's what it is. Let's grab the other Douglas fir, which is this one. I'm going to come from this direction now. That should be all right. And then we come through here. And let's see, what else have we got? I do have a hero tree. Let's maybe bring in another tree. That might be interesting. I thought I had a conifer. Can't quite seem to see it though. Not the juniper. Oh, here it is. There's conifers here. We do have this really interesting leafless tree as well, which I have used up on the hill opposite the main building. But that doesn't mean we can't use it here. Let's bring it in and see what it looks like. And again, I'm just going to do a quick save because I really don't trust the program or my video card driver. So yeah, we have this interesting looking dead tree, which is a bit too big, so I'm going to scale it back. Move it down. I don't know whether I'll use this tree or not, but I'm just curious to see if it's going to look okay, on whether it'll look okay or not. Maybe move it over like that. Oh, every time I do it, every time. So have you guys been playing with UE5 at all? I haven't installed it, but I'm just curious whether you guys have been playing around with the new version of Unreal, because it's still in alpha or beta or whatever they're calling it. I know it can be fun to play with new stuff though. You do move, don't you? I'm just making sure that this actually, I do have wind animation happening on this dead tree. Oh, yep, no, it's moving. Good. Okay. So conifer there, tree there, we come through. I think we need something here. So I think here one of the conifers might look really cool. And why stop at one when you can have two? So let's duplicate it. We're going to scale this one up a bit. And we might rotate it just a little bit so it's a little bit different from the other one. And we'll move it over a bit. Maybe move it in a little bit. Now again, you see what I'm doing here? I'm covering up the gate behind there, so as the player comes along the path, they can't see the gate, so they're moving through the pathway. Until they come across, come upon the gate, I should say. Okay, so we're coming along and along, and I think what we need here is we need a bit of height back here in the background. Again, I'm going to do a quick save. Sniper Girl says, played with it a little bit, thinking of playing with it more in the near future. Android Dust says, not yet. Nope. Sniper Girl says, debating if I want to have the final version of the gas station in Unreal 5. Would look great with Lumen. Yeah, it would. Don't forget that there is global illumination in UE4 as well. It's not Lumen, but it's still, you can turn on ray traced global illumination as well. Radiosity, ray traced radiosity. Remember too, if you do want to set up your demo Sniper Girl or anyone in UE5, UE5, even though it has that nanite technology, which means you can have really high polygon models, it still can't do foliage, and it can't do animated foliage like we see here, where everything is moving in the wind. It can't do it basically yet. I'm sure Apex will work that out before they do the final release. But so if you're going to have anything where you're going to have foliage, I would not recommend doing it in UE5 at the moment. Not until they fix the problem with foliage in UE5, basically. And remember, UE4, the latest versions of UE4, they're fully ray traced, and there's no reason to go to UE5 particularly. Particularly if all you're going to do is render out a scene for your portfolio, like you're going to render it out to a video file, then you can save that out frame by frame, which is what you should be doing anyway. So it really makes no difference. You can throw as many polys as you want at the engine. And it's only when you're making a game it's really important. And I'm not saying you shouldn't play with UE5 because it does look really cool. I would be playing with it myself if I had a bit more time, but I just don't have the time, and I don't really want to play around with alpha software. From what I heard though, it's pretty stable. Like UE4 is pretty stable, usually. Hellford says, my toaster doesn't want to run UE5. Too old hardware for it, yeah. Well, that's the other thing too, yeah, you do need pretty modern hardware to be able to run UE5 properly. Sniper Girl says, I can't do ray tracing with my video card. I can do Lumen. See, now Lumen is screen space global illumination. I don't know if you are really aware of that, guys, but it is. Which is actually in UE4. You can turn on screen space global illumination, and that's basically what Lumen is. It's an improved version of that in UE5, but it's still screen spaced. So if you can't run UE5 because you've got a toaster for hardware, run UE4 and turn on screen space global illumination. And that will get you like 80% of the way to what Lumen does. It's still screen spaced, even Lumen. But it's just a better implementation of screen space. It's not as noticeable. Which is why it runs fast, because it's basically still screen spaced. So yeah, it's an option for in UE4 if you don't have a ray trace capable video card. You can still turn on screen space global illumination. It's actually on in this game. For people that don't have ray trace graphics cards, they can turn on or off screen space global illumination in the game menu. And copy, Hellford says, yes, need the copy too. Sniper Girl says, actually still can, just can't use nanite with the foliage. It's something you can disable for the asset. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. So you're saying that you can use wind animated foliage in UE5, but you just can't use it as part of nanite. So you can still use nanite for the geometry, is that what you're saying? You just can't use it for the foliage. I think that's what you're saying, yeah? Yeah, okay. Oh, well, I wasn't aware of that, so that's interesting. So you can, well, that makes it a bit more interesting now, because I was under the impression you couldn't use any animated foliage in UE5. Well, you could, but it was not visually very pleasing. But if it only means you can't use the nanite part for the foliage, then that's okay. Anyway, I'll wait for them to do another couple of releases for UE5. if they are going to, I don't know, before I install it. Just to be honest, you know, I don't like to try things that have just been released because they're always buggy, always. Smurf says, as I understand it, nanite can be used on anything that does not deform. Okay. Well, yeah, that makes it more interesting. I wasn't aware of that you could use animated foliage still, just not as part of nanite. I thought if you turn nanite on, you couldn't have like animated foliage like we see here. But if that's not the case, then that makes it much more interesting. Abigail says, when you bring an asset into UE5 and nanite isn't activated on it by default, you can select on the import menu to activate nanite on the mesh, or later on in the mesh editor. Okay. Alright, that makes it, yeah, that makes it much more interesting. I'll have to check it out soon. I think when Epic release the next revision of the UE5 engine, I might install it and check it out. Yeah. Because it does look really good. I mean, I like the fact that nanite looks really interesting with poly counts and draw calls. So it's definitely something I do want to check out because I love the Unreal Engine. You guys know I love Unreal. I've used it for years and years and years. It's one of the best engines, game engines I've ever used. So I will be checking out UE5 when I get a bit more time, I guess, and after the next release of the version. Smurf says, also I don't know who first started using Greek letters in math, but I hate them. Okay, so I think we need something back here in front of this rock. So let's go with maybe one of the elder breeze. Maybe. Yeah, probably one of the elderberry bushes, I think. So we've got a green and we've got this reddy coloured one. Let's use the reddy coloured one to add a bit more, a little bit of variation in colour here. So not everything is not just green, 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 green. Let's scale it up. Move it back. Scale it up. Move it back. Move it down. Again, I want to make sure it's actually down on the ground. Not that you can see it amongst all of the grass, but there we go. Again, I'm going to move back to where I was so I can sort of frame it up as I work. Okay, we're going to duplicate it again. We're going to scale this one up to be a little bit bigger. And we're going to rotate it so that the players don't really know we're reusing the same tree over and over again. Maybe move it forward a little bit. Alrighty. So we're coming along the path. When we get to here, we've got a bit more height going on through there. And come around here. And then we get to the gate. I think what I want to do here is I want something here. And maybe a tree would be good. And again, I'm just going to do a quick save because I really don't trust the program glitching out like that. What are we talking about here? Android Lust says, don't disrespect Gamebryo, Phil. Oh, wow. Gamebryo, wow. You want me to go on my Gamebryo tirade, do you? You guys know how I feel about that program. What a piece of rubbish. Doesn't exist anymore, thank God. The worst game engine I have ever used. Look, you're going to get me started. Snobby Girl says, with the gas station I'm not looking at using nanite. Wouldn't be compatible with the way I'm doing the material layering that I'm using, assuming this hasn't changed. I really just want UE5 with the lumen. would benefit heavily having the higher quality reflections and lighting. Smurf says, I'm basically trying to implement a UV mapping on a sphere in Python, and it's so horribly confusing. All this Python work you're doing, Smurf, though, it's going to be good for your portfolio, because Python's really popular in design work. So muddle through, because it's good. It's going to be good for your portfolio for work. People love Python programmers. Sniper Girl says to Smurf, have fun with that. Smurf says, I'm not having fun. Sniper Girl says to Smurf, you mean you're not a masochist? Helpwood says, saving copy. Smurf says, I'm Schrodinger's masochist. Okay, let's save and then I'll have a copy. I'm pretty sure I just saved, but we'll do it anyway. Yeah, I want something. I'm pointing to the screen. I'm pointing on the screen and you guys can't see it. I keep forgetting that, you know, I'm on camera. I want something here. We need something here. So we're going to go back to our hero trees, I think. Now again, these hero trees, like most of the trees you see in the level, like these background trees, they're relatively low resolution, but I have some hero trees which are higher resolution that we can put in different spots in the game. It gives the illusion that the rest of the forest is as high resolution when it's not. It's just a performance thing, really. Smurf says, I cobbled together a couple of libraries to generate a subdivided icosahedron sphere and apply simple noise to it and display the result, but the noise sampling is super bottleneck. Yeah. So let's grab one of these gnarly trees, I think. Maybe let's have a look at this one. No, that's way too big, so we're going to scale it back. Again, I'm just going to move back here to make sure the size of the tree is alright. Yeah, should be right. I really hate that visual glitching going on. And again, I'm going to make sure it's in the ground. And we might move it over just a little bit. Yeah, that should be alright. So we come around, we come around, we come around. Look at it from this angle. I'm going to go into my... Where is it? Where is it? Foliage. I'm just going to place some foliage by hand here. Yeah, see, I don't know, I'm not sure why the engine has duplicated some of these assets twice. Static mesh foliage, static mesh, they're both exactly the same. I'm not really sure what's going on. I didn't do this, the engine has duplicated a lot of these assets for some reason. It may have been because, I think actually I do know what happened. I moved the foliage from the main level to a sub-level, a streamed level. And I believe when you do that, the engine automatically saves out a copy of whatever it is you is included in that landscape level. I'm not sure why it does that, but I think it does that automatically. I think that's why we've got some of these, because I moved them from one level to a sub-level. Smurf says, I'm using a 3D noise. I'm using a 3D noise and I want to see if sampling it into 2D would be faster. But for that I need to be able to represent the 3D surface in 2D, also known as a UV map. Although after typing that out loud, I think it might be essentially the same speed since I'm sampling per vertex. and the number of vertices wouldn't really be any different. Save, Phil. Yeah, I know. I did save. I will save again. So I'm going to bring in the knapweed cluster. Yeah, bring in the knapweed cluster. I'm just going to place these by hand. Because it will just be quicker than me using the foliage tool and having to move things after the fact. So I don't want to put, I don't want a lot of them. I just want some around near the base of this tree. I might actually... we might bring in some long grass as well. Again, I'll place it by hand. If I can find it. I think it's this one here. I think. No, maybe it's not that one. Okay, that's that grass. Yeah, maybe it is this one. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think it is. What is it? Yeah, it is. So we'll just grab that one. Oh, man. Let's duplicate it again. Sit up straight. Oh no, I end up moving forward and forward when I work. Hang on, what happened then? Rotate it a little bit. I think they're all part of, yeah, they're all part of an instance. We're going to be putting one of our Easter eggs over here. So I think we need something, maybe something here. What do we got? Maybe one of the other knapweeds, but a green, sorry, it's not a knapweed, it's an elderberry bush. Let's see what that looks like. Again, I'm just going to do a quick save. Elfwood says bacon. Sniper Girl says bacon does sound good. It does sound good actually. So let's bring in this green elderberry bush and scale it up. And we'll put that over here. Maybe over here. Okay, we're going to duplicate it again. Wow, stop that. Duplicate. Move. Scale. Rotate. And move it over back here. Maybe bring it over just a little bit more. So yeah, basically I'm creating an area back here that the player can discover that Easter egg that we were talking about yesterday. So generally players will, you know, they're going to go along the path and they're pretty much going to ignore anything over there. But if they do want to go exploring, they can find the hidden Easter egg. So basically I think we need another bush somewhere through here so that they have to go around in here behind to find it. So I think we'll just duplicate one of these again. Move it back, move it over. Maybe rotate it so that they don't know it's the same bush again and again and again. Maybe that way. You guys know because you've seen me make it, but other people won't. They won't pick up on it. And we might scale it up just a little bit. So yeah, you come along, they'll head for the gate, but if they explore and come through here, then back in here, we will have our one of our Easter eggs. But you're going to have to go looking for it because you're not going to know, you're not going to see it as you're wandering through the path. Okay, now, and again, I'm going to do a quick save. What do I want to do back here? I'm not sure. Maybe. I was wondering if we should put another one of these leafless trees through here. Maybe. Let's duplicate one of these. If we don't like it, we can remove it. And move it. Here, let's scale it down so it's a bit smaller. And maybe rotate it. Move it over a little bit. And bring it forward a little bit. Yes, bacon does sound good. You got me hungry now. I have to have my lunch after I finish my stream. I do like bacon. You can never have too much bacon. But yeah, I will try out UE5 at some stage. Want to get a little bit more time. Let's look at this side over here, I think. Okay, so we need... I'm getting lost in the forest. We come through there. So we have a path. We come in here. We come through here. We get to here. I think we need a bush up in here, so let's use this coloured one again because it's a different colour, it's not just green. Let's scale it up. Move it back. Scale it up quite a bit. Maybe rotate it so it fits in that spot a little bit better. Where am I? Where's my path? I'm already lost. Okay, yeah. So we're coming through. And I think we'll duplicate this again. We'll move one. We'll scale it back a little bit. And move it through here. I'm just trying to break up the look of the rock a little bit, basically. I mean, I want to see the rocks because they're interesting, but I just want to break it up a little bit. Okay. So that's good. When we first get to the path, the player can't see the gate pretty much at all. They'll come through, and they'll come through, and then we have our hidden section back here for the Easter egg, back in here. Yeah. And then come around. Wondering if we need something else here as well, I think. Yeah, I think we do. And I think maybe another copy of this one back here.
Chest till it hurts, picking up pieces that keep falling apart. When did you turn your head, erase me, searching for my heart in the debris? I lost myself, you left me. I've lost myself.
Yeah, I think that's better. Just to fill it out a little bit more. So we come around the path through here. We get to here, which is where we enter the main grounds. We might just scale this up a little bit. If I can get in there to select it, there we go. Around the path, around the path. I'm just looking at it from different angles to see if there's any areas that I want to fill in a little bit more. Around the path.
I'm spinning and everything is confusing. I can't seem to slow my mind down.
Let's just do a quick save.
Is it me? Is it us? Is it lust? Is it trust? Is it just 'cause
You guys have gone quiet.
figure it out? One day you turn your head and call me sweet, searching for
Okay, let's just turn on lit mode so we can see what's going on. Smurf says math. Sniper Girl says cricket. That's right. Let's go back into lit mode.
I've lost myself.
So we come along our path. We're coming along our path. We start to see an ominous blue glow happening here. Well, actually, they won't see that. You won't see that until after you enter the gate, and then you can't leave. But along our path. I might just move this tree down a little bit. It's sort of annoying me. There we go. That's better. It looks like it was floating in the air there a bit. And then we come along our path to get to the gate. And again, I'm just looking at it from all different angles to see if there are any areas that looks like they need to be filled in a bit. Maybe through here. But I think what I'm going to do here is, again, I'm just going to go back into unlit mode. This is there is a landscape on the other side here, I think. Is there? Or I'm not? No, there's not actually. The landscape does continue back here. So maybe we could put something back here. Maybe. Might be a good idea. Andrew Loss said that everyone went to get food since bacon was mentioned. That's right. Sniper Girl says, yeah, pretty much. I don't have bacon, so I got ice cream. Android Loss says ice cream for dinner, huh? Well, hey, that's one of the advantages of being an adult, isn't it? An adult. If you want to have ice cream for dinner, you can have ice cream for dinner. Breakfast, lunch and dinner if you want. I love ice cream. Oh, I love ice cream. Sniper Girl says, no, not for dinner. I ate shortly after I got home hours ago. It's like going on 9 PM my time. Ooh. Hellforge says 3:55 AM. It's so early for you, Hellforge. I really do appreciate you being one of my mods and being here. Remember to occasionally Hellforge does stream when his machine doesn't crash like mine did. Elwood says, dinner does sound pretty good, but I'm playing MTGA right now. Pretty fun game, even though it's terrible. I'm terrible at it. What is MTGA? I'm not... What is that? I'm not familiar. What is MTGA? Yeah, I think we need a tree back in here. Which tree do I want? We have one of the ones we're using at the house that we can use here, one of the hero trees. We can bring that in. In fact, let's bring it in and see what it looks like. So if I move that, because we're using it at the house, they're not going to notice it back here as being the same thing, I mean. People won't know. That glitching is really annoying me. Where am I? Oh, I'm going the wrong way. I want to go... Yeah. And maybe move it over. Let's just see what that looks like in lit mode. Yeah, I think that's a bit better. Helps to give a little bit more depth to the landscape here. Okay, let's do a save all. Oh, it's Magic the Gathering. Hang on, what's this? Magic the Gathering. I won't. Smurf says Magic the Gathering assholes. Magic the Gathering Arena. Thank you, Sniper Girl. I gather you don't like the game, Smurfberry? Sniper Girl likes Smurfberry's version better. Smurf says, no, it's definitely arseholes. A gathering of magical arseholes in a forest clearing near a druid summoning circle. Helpwood says, Magic the Gathering Arena. Android Love says to Sniper Girl, what flavour of ice cream would be the correct answer? Better be the correct answer. Helpwood says, old as heck card game. Oh, okay. Sniper Girl says to Android Lust, chocolate and mousse tracks. Ooh, I like chocolate. Smurf says the arseholes are sparkly. Okay, so I think for now we might leave it here. I'm just going to make one more quick run through as we're walking along the path. We're walking along the path. I may put something... Jeez, Microsoft, leave me alone. We may put trees back here as well, but we'll look at that on Monday next week, I think. So we're walking along the path. And then we get to the gate. Okay. Well, I think we might leave it there for today, guys and girls. I do want to thank you, though, very much for hanging out with me and for watching. I really do appreciate it. I will be back again on Monday next week at 5 PM Pacific time. We will pick up where we left off and either we'll look at that section we were just working on again, but it's almost done. And then we're going to move on to another part of the landscape somewhere, more than likely. Smurf says the arseholes are sparkly. Smurf says I don't have an opinion on it. I couldn't pass up an opportunity to say arse. Sniper Girl says I didn't get the Hershey's version. Let's talk about the ice cream, but this is what I ate. So yeah, you guys have a good weekend. Take care. I will be back next week, Monday, 5 PM Pacific time in the United States. You guys have a great weekend and I'll see you all next week. See you guys.